if Kamala was the president right now, 100 days in,
this could be a problem.
I know the problems might have already passed. You might already be speaking Mandarin, watching some drag queen general surrender to the Chinese, sitting in front of a TV with the migrant family they made you house. Which is not true. They would make you sell the TV because it's not climate friendly. But the point is, things wouldn't be good. Nobody wants Kamala Harris at the helm. And what's so funny about the prisoner of the moment world we live in now is, there's a lot of polls that got the election wrong that say Trump is unpopular. Okay, but if we've learned anything in the past 10 years is we've yet to find someone who's packaging Trump at the polls accurately. It very rarely happens, if ever, number one. Number two, if you understood MAGA, the pollsters don't, the media don't. Why? Because they don't talk to them. Okay, Trump's voters are ride or die. Something we learned between these two presidencies. Okay, if you remember, after the midterm elections, okay, Trump wasn't the president. Okay, Joe Biden was the sitting president during the midterms.
I don't remember that ever happening.
But he was. And we quickly deduced on this show, as the primaries were starting, that Trump supporters would rather take a chance on losing the 2024 election with him than getting a guaranteed victory with another Republican, meaning any generic Republican probably would have won the 2024 election. The difference between them and Trump is they wouldn't have been indicted 91 times and shot at twice. Okay, but because it was Trump, okay, they threw everything on earth they could at him. The Trump time in politics will best be remembered as the 80s video game Double Dragon. There was a game in the 80s called Double Dragon, and the made it interesting is it was a gang fight. So at a time when we were playing like Donkey Kong and Super Mario Brothers and Pac-Man and Frogger and that type of stuff, Centipede, Dragon Slayer, whatever you were into, asteroids. Okay, Double Dragon came along, and the hook was you were gang fighting in an alley, and you could hit somebody with a barrel of oil, smack them with a chain, piece of fence. It was crazy. It's really intense stuff, and it was kind of like just a no-holds-barred video game. We'd never seen it before. Trump's time in office is the Double Dragon of politics. They hit him with a fake Russian collusion story.
It was made up by these sick people.
Think about that. That was leaked to the FBI by his political opponent.
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
Okay, they impeached him for wrongdoing in Ukraine, something Joe Biden has since pardoned his family for being guilty of.
That's just how white folks will do you.
Think about that. Post January 6th, they impeached him after he left office under the auspices that he could be denied the right to ever run again. When it didn't work, they began arresting him. They raided his house with a SWAT team and guns drawn. Okay, spent 9 hours in Melania's bedroom. Do you remember that story? They went through Melania's panty drawer. And she famously refused to meet with Jill Biden because she said she was upset that the FBI went through her panty drawer. Now, in the interest of transparency, I don't blame Melania for being upset, but I also don't blame the FBI for doing it. Okay, I mean...
Hubba.
Man, fellas. But stick with me. Okay, because what you got to understand is they hit the guy with everything. We'd never indicted a president in the history of our country. We were 247 years old at the time Trump got indicted. By the time we had turned 248, we went from 0 to 91 indictments. Okay, but he persevered through the primaries only to get shot in the run-up to the RNC, only to get the nomination with a big bandage on his ear and have a gunman laying in wait at his golf course 2 weeks later. Okay, and understand they threw everything at him. They even switched presidential candidates and got Joe Biden off the ticket in a summer where they told us they were protecting democracy. They kicked off the guy that got all the votes in the primary and replaced him with a girl who nobody had ever voted for in their life.
Democrats are so full of crap.
Double Dragon. They hit him with everything. Indictments, gunshots, multiple impeachments, multiple opponents. None of his followers left. Okay, the idea that we're sitting here 100 days in and Trump is now at 40% popularity instead of 56%, I mean...
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Okay, The tariff situation. We apparently have 35 countries that could potentially line up to make a deal with this president. Okay, there is so much momentum for this economy going forward as these deals get announced and made. And it's so fascinating to watch everybody run this fool's errand of, wow, look at the tariff situation, tariff war, the trade, prices going up. Amazon, did you see what happened to Amazon today? They're posting dual pricing now. They're showing you that things cost more because of tariffs. Well, lo and behold, that wound up tanking their stock because people came to realize just how dependent brands like Amazon are on Chinese manufactured goods. Okay, what Trump is fighting for is America. That's what America first means. It means if you're in this country legally, he is making you his number one priority. Okay, not white people first, not some tired white supremacist, white nationalism fiasco they keep peddling in the media. America first, the most tolerant and inclusive society the world has ever known, the most ideologically, religiously, and socially diverse country on earth is the one you live in.
He's a lousy dad, but he's right.
And when Trump puts it first, he puts all of that first. Do you understand? People are with Trump. Are the polls oversampling Democrats? Probably. They might not even be sampling anybody. They might have just got together and said, we'll give him 42%. No one's ever going to believe him. They're never going to believe him. These polls were wrong going into the last election, in some instances by 14 points. Going into the 2020 election, we had a poll that was wrong 21 points on the eve of the election. So who in their right mind looks at these polls and goes, they're bargaining with us in good faith now. No, they wouldn't lie to me now.
Are you stupid or something?
You'd have to be. Okay, so you understand at this point, the reason I give him very good grades is the border, which is the most primal thing we needed to address, has been closed. The highest number of border crossings since Trump took office is 9 in one day. If you were to go back to 2022, Joe Biden was averaging 4,352 a day. Joe Biden was letting in, that we knew of, close to 3 million people a year, that we knew of, including 1,000 members of the known terrorist watch list. I mean, if you were to go back to September 11th, 2001, and tell me that if you fast forwarded 20 years, an American president was going to be letting known terrorists into the country and not doing anything about it,
he should be behind bars.
That's what you all would have said. Every one of you. If you're a Democrat, you would have said that on 9/11. You would have realized how derelict in their duty they were to protect us. When you look at the fentanyl poisoning deaths, when you look at the 500,000 kids that have been sex trafficked into this country, that stuff is stopping now. That's the most primal thing. Okay, and yes, it helps us financially just the same because you don't have to bankroll all of it. Okay, and it makes the kids safer. Okay, and obviously less fentanyl in the world makes all of us safer, if you can minimize that to the extent that you can. And if you maintain operational control of the border, which Tom Homan is doing, we are all better off in the long run. So you understand, getting that out of the way first and foremost, huge. And they did it in record time. Okay, and they understand they're on the right side of the issue. So they don't care if people get upset. Tom Homan was asked about that yesterday. Here it is, clip 8.
There's a lot of people in this country don't like me. I don't care. But when I walk through an airport, I have many people walking up to me and thank me for what I'm doing, and I'm not taking credit for anything. The success of the border and immigration enforcement is President Trump and the men and women wearing that uniform. God bless each and every one of them. But I take a pleasure in seeing it because in 40 years of doing this job, people always want to say, why are you so emotional when you testify? Why are you so emotional on network? Because if they wore my shoes for 40 years, they'd understand why I'm emotional.
Seriously, think about that. If you've been doing this job 40 years under multiple presidents, he's done it under Obama, he's done it under Bush, he's done it under Trump, he's done it under Bill Clinton. Okay, he has seen up close and personal the primal nature of what goes on at the border. The guy cares. I told you this. When Trump was out of power and Homan was calling into the show, every time he'd call in, I'd be like, hey, have you shot your TV yet? I know you watch it all day and listen to your Merle Haggard and your Waylon Jennings and you smoke your pork shoulder and you drink your 12-pack of PBRs and then you just scream about the border. Okay, Homan's own son enlisted to go down there and protect the border. These people care. And they don't care about the folks who have empathy for the drug traffickers and the spousal batterers like this jackass Abrigo Garcia. He doesn't care. He's not even entertaining your opinion. He doesn't care how it polls. He doesn't care if you yell at him. He's getting rid of rapists and murderers. You're never going to make a guy feel bad about himself for getting rid of the rapists and the murderers.
That's true. That is true.
The gang members, the drug traffickers, the kid smugglers. You're never going to get mad at yourself for ridding society of those losers.
When you're right, you're right. And you're right.
Trump has made the country better off in ways you can't even fathom. If you want to talk about the $4 trillion in capital investments that have come in, you could. He's having an event tomorrow in the East Wing of the White House with the heads of 6 of the biggest companies in the world to announce new business progress. And yes, they're poised to reconfigure global trade with 35 countries on the hook to make a deal. And any tangible improvement is an improvement. Some people might go, oh, Trump got played. He held out. He only changed things by 2%. He sent world markets tumbling for a month, and all he got was 2%. Guys, if he gets 2%, if he gets 1%, we're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars that go into your pocket as an American instead of some other country posing as an ally that's been using us as a de facto piggy bank for the last 50 years. Okay, Trump is putting America first. And the reason he's governing with no regard for what the polls and the pundits say is they've been wrong about him every day since he came down the escalator. But he's been right about you. He's been right about his instincts, and he's been right about his priorities. And if you just stick to that game plan, okay, the only thing we learned in the first 100 days from the pollsters is that social media needs a button called Who Asked You?